So I've been putting on some photos, let's call them infographics, with some basic tips about how to be aware, what you need to do to keep yourself safe in just an environment which was, for these photos, on a public transport at a bus stop. So this first video that I've put up here shows a lady standing at a bus stop, and then with some advice there about where to stand, what to do, who to look out for, who else who else could be a target. If I'm situationally aware and I'm presenting a hard target to the bad guys out there, where can the bad guys go to? I know it's selfish, but that's how we need to think. Who is the soft targets out there? I'm a hard target, they're going to go to somebody else. And then I followed it up with the second infographic there about when the bus turns up, what do you need to look for? Most people just get on the bus without even looking inside the bus at possible threats, escape routes. So on here, where are the spare seats? Where you're going to sit? Where are the exit and entry doors? Where are your escape routes? Where's help? Who looks like that would help you? Who looks like that wouldn't help you? Where's the possible threats? Are there any seats near the driver? Is the driver, like most drivers these days, they're in enclosed cubicles for their own safety? And very rarely are they going to get out and help you. Where's the CCTV camera? Although it's not going to stop anything, it's there to record facts. So if things do go to court, that's what it's for. So there were the two sort of infographics that I put up there. Then I put the third one on showing a guy in a respirator on a bus with his hand in a bag. And I asked the question, what would you do in this situation? Getting some feedback, showing about how unaware people are. And the reason I've done this is, even though that is a bit of a dramatic photo, this is an actual attack in the UK last year, in Manchester. So the police deemed this a non-terrorist attack for whatever reason. I'm not going to go into that on this one, but I wanted to know that, okay, what would you do? So you've got a guy on a bus in a respirator and he's setting off gas in his bag. So let's go back to the first picture, okay? Let's go back to this first picture. He's standing at the bus stop. Now, he might be standing in a respirator and he's got a backpack on. Is that normal? In your location, is that normal? If that's not normal, I'd have got out of there straight away. Or definitely not got on the bus. He might have put it on as he was getting on the bus, as the bus pulled up. Is that normal for somebody to put a respirator on, a gas mask on, when they're getting on a bus? So that's the first red flag there. The people who got on the bus with him didn't even blink an eye. So he's got on the bus with a respirator on. That was in the report. Nobody, the driver, hasn't blinked an eye. Oh, it's just normal. People walk around with backpacks and respirators. I've been let's call myself a survivalist. My backpack, if that doesn't ping security when I get searched going into a venue, I start worrying, because I've got respirators, I've got smoke, I've got all sorts of different things in my bag, which I carry around. So he gets on the bus in a respirator and the driver's not thought anything of it. Hey, it's just normal, let on. Yeah, come on, he's paid his fare, let's get on. So he sits down. So you've got all the passengers on the bus. They've got the passengers who's been standing at the bus stop with him, and nobody's blinked an eye. Nobody's gone, that's not normal. I'm getting off this bus. There's something wrong there. So he takes his backpack off, puts his hand in the bag, releases gas from a butane gas bottle. Now I'm saying it's only butane, but butane's highly flammable. It's a poisonous gas, so it's going to make you feel sick. It's going to make you feel ill. People still don't do anything. You know, this is why you are going to be an easy target, because if you don't recognise at an early stage something's not right, you're going to be a victim. So everybody's sitting there on this bus, not responding, not trying to get off the bus, not doing anything until the next bus stop. And then they went, yeah, we could hear hissing, and then everybody's feeling ill. Now, bad enough that happens once, but it happened 3 times. Now, if this was me, I'd be going, and I was part of the bus company that's recording all this, and if I was watching the recordings, I'd be going, are these practice runs for something even more sinister, more lethal? Because that's what the 7/7 bombers did. They did recce, they did hostile recce, they did practice runs before 7/7. So I would have been thinking, okay, are these hostile recce? Is it to see what time of day is going to be busy, whatever time he's done it, morning, noon, night? What's the busiest times of day? What are people going to do? They're not just going to sit in their houses and do nothing. Okay, I've got a target-rich environment. That is you if you're not picking up on these signals. 3 times, 3 different occasions he did this. Nobody picked up on it. Now, for whatever reason, like I said, the police have not classed this as a terrorist attack. Something stupid like causing nuisance to people or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact thing they said, but they didn't class it as a terrorist attack. I think now with the last attack that's not being classed as a terrorist attack, the driving incident the other day in London, I think it's now getting to that stage where if nobody dies, it's not a terrorist attack. But you will be a victim if you don't pick up on these baselines. If you don't understand what is happening day to day, normal life in your area, and then something like this happens, you will be a victim. And that's not what we want to see. That should have been, I'd been standing at the bus stop, walking away, ringing the police, going, there's a guy getting on there, on this bus, number 70, whatever it was. It's going in this direction. He's got a gas mask on and a backpack. That would have been my first call as I'm legging it out of there. And I'd been, me, knowing what I'm doing, I'd have been advising people, don't get on that bus. What would you do? How would you have responded? My name's Rock. This is Viper Tactical Training. Stay dangerous.